It's golden hour, folks. The things I do for the Montreal Canadiens. Because on this day, I see clearly a Habs team that has life. 6-3 victory at the Bell Center in Montreal. 2-1 series for Washington. But the Habs have life, and it all comes in the most explosive way possible. What is it with the Canadiens scoring goals at the end of periods and everything? Last-second buzzer beaters, man. They're taking some of that Vancouver Canucks mojo and putting it to work. Now, look, I don't look my best right now. The glowing golden hour is here, but I'm sweaty, I'm drenched. My arms are okay. You know, I've been smacking some volleyballs out there at the park. I just realized now how this lighting is making my eyes look very uneven, but it's kind of like that normally, not gonna lie. The Montreal Canadiens, dude. What was that? Where was that effort in the majority of games 1 and 2? This is what I was talking about, man. The Habs are that close. They're close. Game 1, OT loss. Could have gone the other way. Game 2, they were right in it. And they had some moments where they weren't as in control as they probably should have been. They did have to play on the ropes for a good chunk of game 2, but when the going got tough, that's when they really showed up, and that's when they started to get robbed a little bit. Sammy Montembeault also playing well. Even though it was 2-0, if you'd watched the games, you know that Montreal was closer than a 2-0 score would indicate, and that goes all out the window on this game 3. 6-3 victory speaks for itself. Just the tail of the tape. Ovechkin scores, okay, fine. McMichael scores, okay, fine. But who shows up for Montreal? Suzuki, Caufield, Dvorak, Newhook, Slafkovsky. Oh my gosh, man. Not to mention the physical spark. The fact that Josh Anderson just totally took control over Tommy Wilson. Crybaby Wilson over there. The fight, the escalation, it goes into the bench. They're standing, whacking at each other on the Caps bench, and a referee is there too. Look, man, referees, everybody loves to hate on referees. I hate on referees as much as everybody else does, but what a job. I would not want to be the referee who is standing on the Capitals bench trying to break these guys up. These two big guys going at it. Josh Anderson, what a guy. That contract. 5 points something $million a year, whatever it is. 5 million, 6 million? I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. $5 million a year, something like that, to pound Tom Wilson into the ground and to not take any craps about it. This guy, absolute gamer. You want that kind of mentality, that forcefulness nature to be able to carry and lead a young team like the Habs? Yeah, that's exactly what you want. This is the guy who's going to give that emotional spark, that hero's mentality for a Canadiens team that is carried by the talent of their young guys. Lane Hudson with a last-second steal in the second period. Beautiful cross-crease backdoor pass for my guy Cole Caufield. The celebration. Slafkovsky, beautiful cross-crease feed too for his first NHL playoff goal. This guy was a menace in this game. My gosh, just the confidence that he has, driving down the middle, making these passes, making these plays. Nick Suzuki, of course, we can never stop saying any good things about Nick Suzuki. Goals off of the face-off on the power play, being able to lead this team. He is the guy. He is the undisputed captain of the Habs. And it's all started by him, man. Not to mention Alexandre Carrier. Big shout out to Carrier as well for getting the drive and to get everything started at the Bell Center. Get that energy ramping up with the first Habs goal of the night. Washington, of course, they had their chances. They had their momentum. As much as we don't like to see Habs goals getting scored against, I'm all for Alex Ovechkin extending that goal streak that he has been on ever since he broke the Gretzky record into the playoffs. That's fine. OV, go off, do your thing. But if he gets a goal and the Canadiens still find ways to win, I'm okay with that too. So, Montreal, 2-1 series lead. Josh Anderson, of course, super physical. There were a bunch of other guys stepping up in big ways too. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about, and this was very important, Sammy Montembeault. You know, we've been saying this entire series that where the Canadiens have faltered, where Patrick Laine isn't really playing all too well, where some of the other consistency with guys in front isn't really too great. Obviously, Laine hurt now, so we can disregard him. But Sammy Montembeault, he's been the only guy, I think, throughout the first 2 games that was absolutely pulling his weight and doing what he needed to do to help the Canadiens win. They were so close in game 1. Game 2, they were closer, or not as close, excuse me, but Montembeault still made a hell of a lot of fantastic saves. In this game, second period, he gets hurt. And I think Marty Biron was the guy who had the Twitter video posted where Montembeault kind of extends his left leg, and there's a save that he makes that's kind of awkward, and he doesn't plant his foot on the ground right. So that's where he gets taken out. That's where Jakub Dobes comes in, and that's where Jakub Dobes gets the win. The hell? Jakub Dobes coming in here, getting the victory. Sammy Montembeault, I am so sorry. So sorry to Sammy Montembeault for not getting a dub in this game. I don't think he got the dub officially, but hey, people were going out there and saying this on social media, but the Habs, they have a good record of playing Czech goalies against the Capitals. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Halak, he was fantastic back in the day. And now, from Halak to Dobes, you've got Montreal Canadiens goaltenders suiting up against Washington that are pulling their weight and doing fantastic things. However, there is now going to be some controversy as to what happens with the backup goalie position. There was an e-bug today. You don't see that every day. But we also have ourselves conversations to have about Cayden Primo and some other guys that are floating around in the organization. We'll wait and see what happens by the time tomorrow comes. The Habs will probably make some roster moves at that time, and we will likely get our verdict as to what the roster looks like. For Jakub Dobes, though, lots of pressure, lots of opportunity. And this is a guy who made the most out of his opportunity, getting the victory here for Les Canadiens de Montreal. And the Bell Center better be buzzing for that game too, man. This is exactly what we were talking about. Caps, super tight series. Sure, their barn is loud. The Bell Center is louder. Montreal Canadiens hockey thriving off of the energy, thriving off of every single save that Jakub Dobes makes. The crowd stands up on their feet. The crowd roars their heads off after Josh Anderson just takes it to that Tom Wilson. You know, fighting in hockey certainly is a controversial subject, but when it's a guy who is as slippery and slimy and greasy as a Tom Wilson, oh boy, that feels good. Josh Anderson, man, standing up for his guys, doing so literally standing up in the bench with Tommy Wilson there, just giving the guy a hard time, and the referees a hard time too. This is the lineup you gotta go with, right? Assuming everybody's fine, assuming everything is okay. I mean, if Newhook is starting to get going, that is ultimately what you want to see. You would rather have him play well, and you would rather see him on a line doing some fantastic things than see him sucking with Laine and Demidov. This is why, man, the Habs didn't even need Demidov to get here. Might I remind you, as good as Demidov is, as amazing as he is as a talented prospect and a young guy who scored 2 points in his first NHL period ever, the Canadiens got here without him. We'll just say that. He played 2 games in the regular season, 2 games in the playoffs before today, but all the goals are scored by Caufield, Slafkovsky, Newhook, Hudson getting a bunch of assists. They don't necessarily need Ivan Demidov to be the Ivan Demidov that was in SKA St. Petersburg to be successful. They just got to play their game. They got to play hard. They got to play the game that St. Louis tells them to play. And they can walk away with wins here, man. Ideally with their starting goaltender. But still, this is fine. And the Montreal Canadiens with not a lead. They don't have the lead. They're cutting the lead in half from 2-0 to 2-1. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Montreal beating the Washington Capitals 6-3 in this game number 3. I hope you enjoyed this Vrishashroll 99. I gotta quickly upload this, get back to smashing some volleyballs, and making some hopefully beautiful sets. But I hope you enjoyed this Vrishashroll 99. And bye.